John knelt, leash slack in his hand. His heart, once brimming with Buster's joyous barks, felt like a hollowed-out tomb. Buster, his loyal Springer Spaniel, was gone, hit by a car. Gone. Tears blurred the veterinarian's words, the gentle hand on his shoulder a distant pressure. All John felt was the crushing weight of grief, a suffocating blanket stealing his breath. He stumbled home, empty leash dragging, a leaden weight mirroring his despair. John collapsed on the worn rug, Buster's favourite spot. Sobs tore through him, each one a nail hammered into the coffin of his happiness. He clutched Buster's old chew toy, the scent a faded memory of playful days, now a cruel reminder of his loss. In the depths of his despair, a whisper slithered into his mind, a single word laced with false promise. The book was ancient, bound in cracked leather, its pages filled with arcane symbols and chilling incantations. It promised power over life and death, a way to cheat the finality of the grave, to bring Buster back. The ritual demanded a terrible price sacrifice, not of animals but of kin, his family. The words clawed at his sanity, but grief had ripped open his soul, leaving a raw wound vulnerable to darkness. Logic drowned in the maelstrom of his grief. His family, their laughter, their love, were but phantoms compared to the gaping void left by Buster. He would bring his boy back, no matter the cost. The night pulsed with a sinister energy as John gathered the ingredients, candles, a ceremonial knife, and photographs of his family. His wife, Mary, and their two young children, Emily and Sam. Their innocent faces stared back at him, oblivious to the horror he was about to unleash. The air thickened, heavy with the stench of incense and dread. John chanted the words, his voice a rasping echo in the darkened room, each syllable drawing him further into the abyss. He sliced his hand, the coppery tang of blood filling the air. A presence manifested, a swirling vortex of shadows and malevolence. Its power was undeniable, its hunger palpable. John presented the photographs, tears tracing bloody paths down his face. "Bring him back," he choked out, his voice raw with desperation. The entity's laughter was a cacophony of screams echoing through his bones. John felt a searing pain, a brand upon his soul. He looked down to see his own blood no longer flowing from the cut, but seeping from his eyes, his nose, his ears. He was the sacrifice. His vision blurred, the last image burned into his mind, the photographs engulfed in flames, the faces of his family contorted in silent screams. Then darkness swallowed him whole. Section 4. Caged. John existed in a realm of perpetual agony. The flames that had consumed the photographs now licked at him, an inferno that scorched his flesh but refused to grant him the mercy of oblivion. He screamed until his voice was a shredded whisper, but the only answer was the echo of his own despair. He was trapped in a cage formed of his own guilt and remorse. He saw Mary's face, etched with betrayal, heard the terrified cries of Emily and Sam as the shadows consumed them. The memory of their love, once a source of joy, now fueled his torment. And through it all, Buster never appeared. The realization struck him like a physical blow. He had sacrificed everything, condemned himself and his family to eternal damnation for nothing. He was no longer John, the grieving husband and father. He was a husk, a vessel of despair, adrift in a sea of fire and regret. His tormented cries echoed through the abyss, a testament to the folly of his desperate act. Section 5. A cold light. An eternity, or perhaps merely a blink in that timeless realm, passed before a light pierced the oppressive darkness. It was cold and sharp, like the glint of ice on steel. John cowered, fearing a new torment, but the light held him transfixed. A figure materialized, its form shifting and indistinct, yet radiating an aura of immense power. It spoke, its voice a low rumble that resonated deep within John's soul. "You sought to defy the natural order," it boomed, and in doing so wrought only destruction. John recognized the voice. It was not the insidious whisper that had lured him to his doom, but something far older, far greater. It was the voice of judgment, of ultimate authority. God! He grovelled, pathetic and broken, begging for forgiveness, but the light remained cold, unwavering. Your suffering is self-inflicted, God intoned, the consequence of your choice. Section 6. The Weight of Choice. You believed you loved your pet more than your family, God continued, his voice devoid of anger, only a profound sadness. But true love seeks to protect, to cherish, not to control or resurrect. John sobbed, the truth of God's words piercing his heart like shards of ice. He had been a slave to his grief, blinded by his own pain. In his desperation, he had failed to see the love that truly mattered, the love that had surrounded him in the smiles of his wife and children. Your torment will continue, God declared, not as punishment, but as a reminder of the weight of your choices. And with that, the light began to fade, the cold receding, leaving John alone once more in the suffocating darkness. He was left with the unbearable truth. His love for Buster, twisted by grief and despair, had become a monstrous thing, a destructive force that had consumed everything he held dear. He was condemned to wander the abyss for eternity, his only companion the echoes of his family's love, a constant reminder of the paradise he had destroyed with his own hands.